Hello everyone, and welcome back to a shorter edition of Narkitect, where we will be looking at town planning and road making. Now you can see what I've already done is added a wall to outline the border of our kingdom. So there we have it. This is the area that we will be using. You can see the harbour that we've already built, and perhaps we need to extend around to the corner, and we have to start thinking about the things that we want, the features that we want to build inside our kingdom. A church, a blacksmith, a housing district. All these things will come together to make our kingdom complete. Now, one thing I really wanted was a river to run through, so using World Edit, I just picked out an area that I thought would be a river and added a central area, a meeting point, a pillar. I'm not quite sure what's going to go into the middle there, in that little circular area that I've made, but something great will go there and it will be another focal point of the town. I want everywhere you look to be roofs and pillars and things jutting out from behind other buildings. And for the source of the river, you can see there I made a waterfall, and I'm just tidying it up there, and there the basic outline of the river is complete. The next thing to do is to neaten up the sides of the river because it looks a bit rough around the edges, a bit rough and ready. And in the middle, I made this Minecraft circle. Again, if you Google Minecraft circle, you'll find images of how to make a perfect circle in Minecraft. So I made this into a perfect platform because this isn't a rough and ready river. This is maintained and managed. We don't want any flooding in our town, and the banks are preserved very carefully. So I did that, and then I measured out and did another circle larger, and then once I'd done that and smoothed that out and bordered it with stone, I came back and started to do it to the rest of the river, as you can see me doing now. And I have to have a think about what goes along this river, and it's a really good way to break up different districts, so we can have a housing district one side and a commercial district the other, and a market one side and a blacksmith the other, and tie in different things with bridges and just break up our town a bit more, because we don't want one thing leading into another necessarily. We want to have nice little breaks and little areas to walk around. Maybe a park would be quite nice next to the river. Lots of possibilities, lots of exciting things going forwards. And there I am, just finishing off bordering it all the way up to the fountain. And you can see the castle and the harbour in the background, and on the left there a lighthouse, which you'll look at how to build next episode. I've kind of skipped ahead, and then I'll go back and we'll build the lighthouse and we'll do the rest of the harbour next episode. Okay, so this is the river, how it looks. This is the overview of the kingdom, and now we have to think about how we're going to break up the kingdom around the river. So we have to think about roads, and the first road will need to come from the palace up towards the harbour, and then behind the harbour, and now that's where we're really going to have to think about what kind of buildings we want there and what districts we want for later episodes. But for now, we'll just put the roads in, and you can see I'm putting a road in behind the harbour leading all the way along, and ultimately that will lead to a bridge or two. So there I'm planning out the first bridge going to the central area. And just building a circular road in the middle of the area that we've made in the centre of our kingdom, so people can walk around whatever will be there, if it will be a fountain or if it will be a pillar or if it will be a park. We're not quite sure yet, but we want people to be able to access it and enjoy it. So when building along and building your own kingdoms, I think it's very important to lay the groundwork first. The harbour and the palace were obvious for us to build because we had the coastline and we knew exactly what we wanted to build there, and we knew we could fit everything else around it. But now we need to build the walls, we need to build the roads, and now we really need to start thinking about what we want where. So once all the roads have been put in, we can have a think about that. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments, and we can have a look at what we want to build next and where we want it to go. So the last few roads at the back, so you can see we have 4 crossing points for the river, 5 now I think, and we just round that off there at the back. And the last thing that I did was I came and I made a raised area right at the back right hand corner there, and that I think is where we're going to put our church or cathedral. And I'm just going to raise that off the ground a little bit because it's a very grand and important building, and we want that to stand out, and we don't want it to be lost behind the city wall, because the city walls are going to be quite high when they're completed, and if we're going to build a very grand church or grand cathedral, we don't want it hidden away. We want, when people approach the city, they want to be able to see that building, and it wants to be imposing, and people want to think, wow, look how rich this city is, and look how amazing it is, and look how tall the buildings are. Whereas actually they're not that tall, we've just raised the ground, but I think it will give a great effect. So there we have it, a shorter episode this week, just setting the scene for the next few episodes where we're going to build. Please like and subscribe and tune in next time where we'll be building the harbour side and the lighthouse.